is the last weekend before Christmas. The last game's before Christmas, so a bit of an influential one in terms of, now team's going to be top at Christmas, bottom at Christmas. I'll probably look at the tables at the end of the video for you guys, but there were some absolutely mad results. Absolutely mad results. This weekend we've got a lot to discuss, so let's just get straight into it. And we begin with Aston Villa 2, Manchester City 1. Goals from John Duran, Morgan Rogers and Phil Foden. So, I mean, it's another Manchester City cookout session. I mean, I'm actually really bored. I don't have the energy to cook Manchester City for another week. They lose yet again. This time to Aston Villa. And I mean, to be fair, at least this one is to a semi-respectable team, right? Aston Villa at home are a good team, and give Villa their credit because they were fantastic in this game. I thought defensively they were absolutely impeccable. Manchester City really didn't harm Villa for most of the game. Emi Martinez really didn't have much to do. Their goal only came from an error, I think, from Luca Dean or someone at the back, and they really didn't have many chances because Villa, we'll get onto it, but Man City were very bad in attack as they have been all season, but Villa were also incredible defensively, and you've got to give them credit for that. The midfield in particular was superb. He went for Onana and Kamara together in the midfield, a bit more compact, and they were superb. Really, sort of compact that midfield 4-5-1 with McGinn in there, Tielemans in there as well. They were superb, and then going forward on the counter attack, absolutely killed Manchester City. From minute 1 on the counter attack, John Duran almost scored. Credit to Stefan Ortega because he made an absolutely outrageous save from one of the corners. But yeah, Villa on the counter were lethal. Tielemans absolutely superb. John Duran scoring yet again. He's been absolutely sensational, and yeah, I think he definitely deserves to be starting ahead of Ollie Watkins now. But Morgan Rogers was really the star of the show. It was a team effort, but Morgan Rogers was absolutely sensational. Absolutely sensational in terms of, getting back, tracking back, helping out his team, and then he would, from that deep position, he would be the guy to carry that ball forward for his team and then lay it off. He got a goal and an assist, and his goal was superb because it was exactly what I said. He got the ball, won it back, dribbled the way up, lay it off, and then get the finish as well. Brilliant, and great win for Aston Villa. But Manchester City, like I said, it's got to the point now where it's not even fun. It's not even enjoyable making fun of Man City losing because they're genuinely just rubbish. They're just rubbish, and same thing again, same problems, rinse and repeat. Can't create, just same pattern of play every single time, and it does not work. And then get absolutely carved open on the counter attack and cannot defend to save their lives. Absolutely despicable defending from his Manchester City team. Yeah, same old problems. Jack Grealish was particularly horrific in this game. He was so poor. But yeah, congrats to Phil Foden. You finally scored a goal. Well done to you. Well done. But Manchester City. Look, this is what I'm going to say now. Pep Guardiola, we've all sort of been saying, at least I've been saying, I think most people feel he'll figure it out. They'll figure it out eventually, right? Pep's too good of a manager for this to carry on a bit and to keep on losing. Well, what if he just saying, he has so much credit in the bank, but at some point, the credit's going to run out. Now, I don't know what the cut-off point is, but for me, if I'm a Man City fan, we're not that far off that credit running out, because they are in genuinely relegation form. Like, it's not just a joke now, they are genuinely on form. One of, if not the worst team in the league right now on form. And that's not just a blip. And it's not just a blip anymore, because it's been sustained for about 10-12 games now. So, like I said, when does that credit run out? And when do we have to have some genuine, serious conversations about Pep Guardiola as a manager? Because he cannot solve this issue right now. He cannot do it. And Manchester City are a mess. They're a mess. Yeah, but I do love it. I do love it. Next up, Brentford 0, Nottingham Forest 2. Goals from Ola Aina and Anthony Elanga. Nottingham Forest with a absolutely massive win. We got the best home team in the Premier League with one of the best away teams in the Premier League. And Forest make an absolute statement with this victory, going to Brentford and beating them. First team, I believe, to beat Brentford at home this season. I actually think Brentford have won all of their games this season at home. So for Forest to go there and beat them, keep a clean sheet as well, when this Brentford team have been so free-flowing and scoring goals for fun, is absolutely insane. I mean, what a job Nuno Espirito Santo has done. I'm not gonna lie, he might have had the biggest renaissance as a manager in the last couple years. You know, at Wolves he was incredible, went to Spurs, really did not work out at all, left to go Saudi, sort of out the picture. When he joined Forest, I was thinking, and I think a lot of people really is a bit uninspiring, he just about kept them up. And then, yeah, this season he has turned Forest into an absolutely sensational team. Absolutely sensational team. This game switched up, went to a back three, showed you can go to a back three, you can play in a back four. Either way, they're getting the same results. Same performances, absolutely sensational. Yeah, really good in this one. Brentford, I actually thought, particularly in the first half, were really unlucky not to score a goal. They had some really good chances. Matt Sells made one in particular, fantastic save. And yeah, Brentford were slightly unlucky not to at least get one goal in this, but to get them undone by Nottingham Forest, who were superb. Anthony Elanga's goal in particular was really nice, and Forest going to Christmas in the top four. There's honestly no reason why they cannot get top four. With the way Manchester City are playing, other teams around them are playing, that fourth spot is well and truly up for grabs this season for anybody to take. And the way Forest are playing, who knows, they could be in for a absolutely sensational season. But well done to them, incredible win. Unlucky one for Brentford, got undone by the better side. Ipswich 0, Newcastle 4, a hat-trick from Alexander Isak and a goal from Jacob Murphy. Newcastle have kind of turned around their season in the last couple of weeks here. It's another absolutely sensational win, sensational performance from Newcastle, who started off this season really poorly, but have recently hit some really good form, and they smacked up Leicester last week, and now they've smacked up Ipswich. Of course, these are teams that they should be beating, right? But still, you gotta beat what's in front of you, and they weren't really winning these games before, so now to be doing it in such convincing fashion is great. Also in the week, got to a Carabao Cup semi-final, beating Brentford, so Newcastle are really starting to get back into full flow, get into their groove right now. And Alexander Isak, he is really starting to get into his groove, a hat-trick in this one. I'm a bit surprised that's his first ever hat-trick in Newcastle shirt. I would have thought he would have a hat-trick before this. But yeah, Isak is on some sensational form right now, and I mean, when he's on form, he is one of the best strikers in the league. He is unstoppable. Also, though, shout out Jacob Murphy. I mean, this guy is unstoppable right now as well. He scored a mad goal, absolute thunderbolt, and then his assist as well for the Isak goal was sensational. He was great against Leicester last week too. I mean, Jacob Murphy, fair play to him. Looks like he's going through a sort of like Miguel Almiron-esque purple patch right now, which is pretty cool to see, but sensational from Newcastle. Ipswich though, this is poor. A really, really poor display by Ipswich. I mean, particularly defensively, they were all over the place in this one, allowed far too many chances. They were cut open far too easily, and some of the defending for some of the goals was really, really poor. I mean, Isak's one of his goals, they literally just gifted through playing out from the back. Really, really poor. Muric, a couple times now he's done that this season, playing out from the back and cost his side. And then, you know, I mentioned Jacob Murphy, great assist, but he sort of like dribbled past loads of players, can't really be allowing that to happen. I mean, yeah, just overall a really poor display defensively by Ipswich, and still haven't got a home win in the Premier League, which is pretty mad. But yeah, this is a really disappointing loss for them. West Ham 1, Brighton 1, goals from Mohamed Kudus and Matt FIFA. Yeah, ends a draw between two sides who, well, I mean, kind of in bad form. Brighton are in bad form, but West Ham, I mean, they're just so boring, aren't they? They've sort of like had a bit of an upturn in form, but it's so dull. West Ham, isn't it? It's really, really dull. Under Lopetegui right now, they managed to get a point in this one, although I think they were kind of lucky, to be honest. Brighton had some really good chances in this one, but didn't put them away, particularly towards the end of the match. And yeah, West Ham did manage to get the point, but yeah, as I said, I think West Ham are just such a dull team. They're really, really poor. They've been really, really disappointing this season, and while they've managed to get some points in the last couple games, again, the performances haven't been amazing, and it does feel like Lopetegui is sort of inevitable that he's gonna get sacked. It's sort of just delaying. It's not a matter of if, it's when Lopetegui will get sacked for me, because the performances are really poor, really dull. Let me get a point here, but it wasn't really a particularly great game, wasn't inspiring. I don't think West Ham can take too much from their performance. And Brighton, I mean, it's so frustrating because Brighton, they played pretty well in this one. As I said, they had some really good chances towards the end of the game, which they didn't put away. They were probably the better side in this one, although not by much. And yeah, they didn't come away with a win. They draw yet again. I think they are winless in about 5 games now. Not that they've lost all of those, but they've pretty much drawn almost all of those. Against these smaller sides, Brighton have really struggled to kill games off, put the game to bed and beat these guys, put their chances away. Really been their issue, and it's sort of holding them back right now in terms of really kicking on into those European spots. So disappointing yet again for Brighton to be dropping points in a game we probably should be winning. Crystal Palace 1, Arsenal 5. Goals from Ismail Assar, 2 from Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, Gabriel Martinelli and Declan Rice. Yeah, a thumping victory from Arsenal in this one. Two times their teams meet in the space of a week. One of those sort of weird coincidences where they played in the Carabao Cup and then they coincidentally are playing each other in the Premier League straight after. And Arsenal just about got past Palace in the Carabao Cup one, but this time Arsenal emphatically get past Palace in this game. A completely deserved victory. They were by far the better team in this one. I mean, 5-1 was a little bit harsh on Palace because Palace were not that bad, but Arsenal were superb in this one, and it's a real confidence booster because Arsenal have been struggling a little bit recently in the league, particularly when it comes to goal scoring. Most of their goals coming from, corners, and in open play they've been struggling a little bit. But this game, most of the goals, I think one goal came from a corner, the Gabriel Jesus' second goal, but most of them came through open play, and Arsenal looked much better in this one. Declan Rice had a great goal. Yeah, overall a fantastic display by Arsenal. And I mean, Gabriel Jesus, what a weird week it's been for him. This guy, I mean, before this week started, I don't think he had scored a home goal in like a year. At the Emirates, gets a hat-trick versus Palace in the Carabao Cup, and then plays Palace again and scores a brace versus them. I mean, 5 goals in like 4 days versus Crystal Palace is pretty nuts. It's interesting to see if he maintains this and whether he's like truly back to his best, or maybe it's just he likes scoring against Palace. But I mean, good to see him scoring again at least. But a big issue for Arsenal in this one, though, for one damper on proceedings, was Bukayo Saka, who was injured and had to go off after 24 minutes. Now, it was encouraging that after 24 minutes they still managed to score goals with Saka off the pitch, which has been a little bit of an issue for them. But, of course, we'll see how long Saka is out for. I believe he was on crutches after the game, so it does look like a bit of a serious one. And that's a big blow, of course. So, let's see on that one. But fantastic from Arsenal, really poor from Crystal Palace. I mean, Ismail Assar, that was a nice goal from him, but apart from that, as I said, I don't think Palace were that bad that they should lose 5-1. They had some really good chances and definitely deserved at least more than one goal, but David Raya made some really good saves in this one. And in the end, Arsenal took their chances and Palace didn't, so that was really the difference. Next up, we have Everton 0, Chelsea 0, a stalemate at Goodison Park. It's another clean sheet for Everton, who have now become one of the best teams defensively actually in Europe. They are, I actually think, ranked very high in terms of clean sheets in Europe's top 5 leagues this season. A tough, resolute performance yet again, and after a 0-0 against Arsenal, they get a 0-0 versus Chelsea, which is very impressive. To play Arsenal and Chelsea back to back and not concede a single goal versus both is definitely something to be proud of from an Everton perspective. Sean Dyche and the Everton team have been set up really well in this one. Again, sat back, a defensive display, but they defended very well. I mean, Chelsea had some chances, but it was like the Arsenal one where Chelsea had some chances like Arsenal did, but it wasn't like they had some absolutely insane chances. Or I mean, Chelsea, Nicholas Jackson had like 2, and that was about it, where he probably should have scored. But apart from that, Everton were fairly comfortable for most of the game. And then also they actually caused Chelsea some good problems on the counter-attack. Real Mancala had an effort which was saved brilliantly by Robert Sanchez. Iliman Ndiaye was absolutely superb in this game on the counter, and who knows, Everton almost could have nicked it. I mean, obviously goal scoring has been a bit of an issue and continues to be for Everton, but they're keeping goals out, which is important, and it's a solid point for them in this one. I will also say as well, Jordan Pickford, I don't know what he took before the game. It might have been a bit of that David cocaine, because I mean, that guy was erratic. He was just like running out and like sliding Chelsea, disappointing. It's disappointing we didn't get the victory. This was a game we would hopefully get the job done. But it's one of those where, in hindsight, a draw at Goodison Park, I think, is not the worst result in the world. Like, it's fine. Everton, as I mentioned, got a draw at the Emirates versus Arsenal. They're going to be a tough side for all of the big six sides to play due to how good they are defensively. We had a couple chances. I was disappointed we didn't create more. You know, our attackers in general really struggled in this game. Cole Palmer didn't really do anything. Jadon Sancho and Neto were okay, but you know, Jackson was quite poor when he did get those chances. Overall, we did struggle a bit, but one thing I am happy about is we defensively managed to put in some good displays. Robert Sanchez, great save. Dawson did really well. I didn't really like though that second half we sort of played into Everton's game. We sort of got involved in the whole Goodison Park, like aggressive, giving away fouls and stuff, and yeah, it wasn't great, but in the end, obviously I like to win, but I think a draw against Everton away isn't the worst in the world, and yeah, hopefully we can have a better performance in our next one. Okay, next up we have another 0-0, Fulham 0, Southampton 0. Yeah, this one, a pretty straightforward one. Fulham definitely deserved to get the victory here. They had plenty of chances. They had two in particular in the second half, which should have gone in. Aaron Ramsdale, I can't remember who shot it, but pulled off an insane save. I think it might have been Harry Wilson to deny him. But Fulham were, you know, the side probing, trying to get the win. Southampton offered absolutely nothing going forward. Absolutely nothing in this one. I don't think they actually had a shot in the first half. But what you will say is fair play defensively. They actually put in a shift, Southampton, and defended really, really well as a team. Fulham had some chances, but you know, there was a couple really good ones and they probably should have scored, but outside of that, it wasn't like Southampton got absolutely peppered the entire game. They defended really, really well, which is going to be encouraging. Ivan Julik has been appointed Southampton manager, so you'll definitely see some encouraging signs from that to build upon. Hopefully he can, you know, keep them tight at the back like this, but then try and get some goal scoring in the team and chance creation, which has been a bit of a problem for them. But it's definitely a step in the right direction for Southampton. By the way, that Jurek appointment is a bit weird, to be honest. I feel like, you know, he's a bit of a short-term manager, and it's sort of suggesting like, okay, they're just gonna try and stay up this season. I guess I don't know. I was thinking like, if they sat Russell Martin, they're probably just gonna go like, except they're going down, get like a progressive young manager. But yeah, we'll see how Jurek does. Fulham, disappointed we didn't get the victory, but it is what it is. In this one, Leicester 0, Wolves 3. Goals from Gonzalo Guedes, Rodrigo Gomes and Mateus Cunha. So another new manager in the dugout. Vitor Pereira for Wolves' first game in charge, and I mean, it couldn't really have gone any better for Vitor Pereira. Sensational, absolutely sensational debut for him and Wolves. 3-0. Now, to be honest, I mean, the performance was like okay. It wasn't like they were amazing or anything. All three goals were basically just gifted to them by Leicester. But at the end of the day, they put the chances away and they defended pretty good, which is something you can say Wolves haven't been doing under Gary O'Neill. They did defend much better in this one. Leicester had chances, but not too many in this game, and obviously Vitor Pereira's only just come in, so he can't really have too much of an impact, but there's definitely some improvements in this Wolves team, and this is just a really good confidence booster for him and the Wolves side. Yeah, really, really well done to was a big win as well against a relegation contender in Leicester. So yeah, a perfect start for Vitor Pereira. But Rui van Nistelrooy, I mean, definitely the honeymoon period is over. It was over last week when he got smacked by Newcastle, and this game, I mean, all 3 goals, just complete idiocy from the Leicester defence. Yet again, individual errors. I mean, the second goal in particular was absolutely comical. James just don't know what he's doing, and then Danny Ward. I mean, Danny Ward, jeez, that guy is horrible, absolutely horrible. I mean, the Leicester fans were literally booing him and ironically cheering when he made a save because he was that bad in this game. Yeah, as I said, I don't actually think Wolves were that much better than Leicester. I don't think the performance by Leicester was that bad. It was just individual errors cost them. And yeah, Rui van Nistelrooy will be very, very frustrated about that. Manchester United 0, Bournemouth 3. Goals from Dean Huijsen, Justin Kluivert and Antoine Semenyo. So another 3-0 thrashing. Bournemouth back-to-back seasons beat Man United 3-0 at Old Trafford. That is crazy. That is crazy. I mean, firstly, before I absolutely cook and go into Man United, Bournemouth, incredible performance once again, and Bournemouth are genuine contenders for Europe. They are superb. They are superb when it comes to playing these, I guess, bigger sides. In particular, Bournemouth are amazing. They've beaten Arsenal, they've beaten Manchester City, they've beaten Man United now. Yeah, they beat Spurs, didn't they? They are superb when it comes to playing the big six. And in this one, again, amazing performance. Dean Huijsen back on the score sheet again. Really, really well done. Justin Kluivert scoring his pens as usual. Won the pen by absolutely cooking Mazraoui and then converts it. Evan Nilsson didn't get a goal, but really, really selfless, good hold-up play. Kepa as well, shout out to him when called upon, made some really, really good saves. Overall, just amazing performance by Bournemouth. Absolutely superb from them. I mean, their pressing in particular was superb. Man United did not have any passing options. Onana just kept lumping it long and then they would scoop up. Bournemouth were superb, absolutely superb. Iraola, what an amazing manager and what an amazing job he has done at Bournemouth, who, as I said, there's no reason they can't go to Europe. If they can just make sure they beat those sort of smaller sides and be a bit more consistent, then I mentioned earlier with Forest that 4th spot is up for grabs. Who knows, maybe Bournemouth could even make the Champions League. We'll have to wait and see, but a special win yet again for them. But Man United, oh man, you see, this is how bad Man United have fallen off. That I expected Bournemouth to beat Man United. I'm not just saying that I was expecting a Bournemouth win. Now, I was not expecting a 3-0, but I was expecting a Bournemouth win because, quite frankly, Bournemouth in 2024 are a much better team than Manchester United. It's just as simple as that. The harsh reality is Bournemouth are a better team than Man United in 2024. I mean, you can go player for player, yeah, sure, maybe United are better, but I'm talking as a collective, as a team, as a unit, in terms of how they're set up, in terms of how well drilled they are, in terms of all of that stuff. Bournemouth are miles better than Man United. So this result should come as no shock to anyone. Man United, as I mentioned, had no clue what to do when Bournemouth was pressing them. They could not pass out, they could not play out from the back. And then, when they got those chances, they did have quite a few chances, did not put them away at all. And then, again, individual errors, poor defending at the back, as has been the story of Man United for the last 3 years, really. Just absolute calamitous horrendous defending. As I said, Mazraoui, what on earth is he doing? Lunging in like that, and Cliver can't defend set pieces yet again. I mean, the set piece goes at Man United, he needs to be sacked. How is this guy still got a job? These guys are being cooked on set pieces time and time again. Yeah, absolutely woeful from Manchester United yet again. And, Marcus Rashford also left out of the squad again. I mean, he's definitely gone, but look, I'm not pinning any of this, I'm not pinning most of this on Ruben Amorim when I say this. All I'm going to say is Ruben Amorim has such a big job on his hands, because this team is an absolute mess. It's been left an absolute mess by Eric Ten Hag. The players most of them are not really good enough for where United want to go. The team has no real coherent idea, no plan, no strategy, and Amorim is going to try to coach that into them, but they haven't really been playing with a tactical plan for years now, so it's going to take so long for it to work. And all I'm going to say is get used to this, because you had your amazing comebacks versus Man City and that, but let's be real, that was just like a 1 minute spell. Nice, you had your moment. You're back to this, because this is really going to be the reality of this season. Man United are not going to be very good, and they're going to have many more painful results like this, so strap yourselves in, United fans. It's going to be a long season. Right, now we get on to one of the craziest scorelines I think I've ever seen. Spurs 3, Liverpool 6. Goals from James Maddison, Dejan Kulusevski, Dominic Solanke, 2 from Luis Diaz, Alexis McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai and Mohamed Salah. I'm literally out of breath reading out how many goal scorers there were in this game. Wow. I mean, Spurs are really lucky for these 2 goals, because the scoreline makes it semi respectable. In reality, this was an absolute annihilation, and I mean annihilation from Liverpool. From the moment the first goal went in, I was saying that this could be 6 or 7, because Spurs were an absolute mess from minute 1. From minute 1, Spurs were rubbish. Defensively, all over the shop. Liverpool were cutting through them like a hot knife through butter. It was so easy for Liverpool in this game. Liverpool are one of the best teams out there when it comes to counter-attacking, and when you give them space, they will kill you. And Spurs literally gave them the entire pitch. They gave them all the space they wanted. So it was no shock to me that Liverpool scored 6 in this one. And it could have been more. It probably should have been more. And as I said, those 3 Spurs goals make it seem a little bit of a better scoreline, but in reality they got absolutely blammed. What a performance from Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold, fantastic. McAllister, fantastic. Dominic Szoboszlai, shout out to him, because he's a player who hasn't, since he's joined Liverpool, hasn't been sensational, hasn't been amazing. I think he has had a better year this year, but this game in particular was absolutely superb from him. Mo Salah, just Mo Salah again, just absolutely incredible. Gakpo, great. Luis Diaz managed to get himself a brace, which is good for him because he hasn't scored in a while. That header in particular was fantastic. Yeah, amazing from Liverpool. The only thing they'll be a bit annoyed about was the defence. Conceding 3 was a bit disappointing from a Liverpool perspective, considering how good their defence has been as well. But look, they scored 6 at Spurs. It was a fantastic performance from Liverpool, who are top at Christmas. From a Spurs perspective, though, absolutely awful. Look, when I saw the lineups, I said Liverpool have this. If Liverpool do not win this, it would be an absolute crime against humanity. The lineup for Spurs, due to all the injuries they had, was absolutely abysmal. And I was expecting them to lose, but I did not expect them to lose this badly. Look, this defence, this back five is awful. They only have a fit right back, they don't have a fit left back. Both their centre backs gone, their goalie's gone. I feel for Ange, I feel for Spurs. They have injuries, of course, but it's something which I've said about Pep. It's something I criticise a lot of managers about, and it's something which I just never understand in the modern day. These managers who are just wielded to their philosophy. If you don't have your players who can play your way just for one game, just change it, please. Don't be so stubborn. Like, seriously, you've got no fit centre backs, you got no goalkeeper, you got no left back. So why are you playing an extremely high line when I also said Liverpool are one of the best in exploiting high lines and playing on the counter attack? Why are you doing that? You are setting yourself up for failure, and you're setting yourself up for results like this. I know it's the way you play. I don't have an issue with you playing like that, but I have an issue when you continue to play like that when you don't have the personnel to do it, and also when very early in the game it was clear this was going to be a problem and was going to give you more negatives than benefits playing this way, and you continue to persist with it. That's where my issue comes in, and that's where I think a lot of people have an issue with Ange and Spurs. So yeah, Spurs yet again smashed at home, and pressure is going to build on Ange. Again, this is where the pressure builds on you. You see, if you had sort of realised you come into this game fine, you want to play like that, that's fine. After 23 minutes, it was very clear this was not going to work. If you change it, you probably still lose. It's probably like a 3-1. It's probably a 3-1 loss. I don't think Spurs fans will be particularly angry about that, losing 3-1 given the injuries they have to top of the league Liverpool. But losing 6-3 at your crib, conceding 6 goals at home, yeah, Spurs fans ain't going to be happy. They're not going to be happy. So, yeah, and if you want to, if you want to, like, I know, I see in the press it's always talking about the injuries. I get that you are really, really hurt by the injuries, but don't get annoyed at fans calling you out, calling for your head when you're the one who is being stubborn and you're conceding 6 at home, you're conceding 4 against Chelsea at home, you're conceding 3 versus Man United at home. Do not get angry because you're asking for it. You're asking for it. Right, we'll do some awards and then we'll look at the Premier League table because, as I said, this is just before Christmas, so some awards. The player of the week for me, we had some really, really good contenders here. We had Morgan Rogers against Man City. We had the 2 Newcastle boys, Isaac and Jacob Murphy. Gabriel Jesus grabbing a brace. I could go for many players in the Liverpool games like some McAllister, Salah, but I'm going to go for Dominic Szoboszlai just because, as I mentioned, he's a player who hasn't necessarily had an amazing time since joining Liverpool, but I think really stepped up in this game and was superb. The worst player of the week, I mean, I had so many entries here. I go over the entire Man United team, I go over the entire Ipswich team, I could go for the entire Leicester defence, particularly James Justin and Danny Ward. Could go for the entire Crystal Palace defence. I go for Jack Grealish, Josko Gvardiol, many players for Man City. But I have to go for that entire Spurs team. But besides the attackers, for midfield and the defence, plus Ange, you're the worst player of the week by far. There's no way you should be conceding 6 in a Premier League game. The worst refereeing moment, I actually didn't really think there was any really bad calls I could think of. Let me know in moment of the week. Could go for the Vitor Pereira, new manager, bound straight away. Gabriel Jesus scoring 5 goals in 4 days versus Crystal Palace. Aaron Ramsdale with his weird gloves where he had like 4, he only had 3 like finger holes. But I'm going for Danny Ward being ironically cheered when he made a save by his own fans. It's a bit peak, but yeah, it was kind of funny. Alright, so here is the Premier League table going into Christmas. Liverpool at the top, 4 points clear with a game in hand. Chelsea in second place, 2 points ahead of Arsenal in third. Look at this, 4th place is very much up for grabs with Forest in there right now. Bournemouth and Villa close, Man City down in 7th. Newcastle have climbed all the way into 8th. Fulham in 9th, Brighton in 10th. I mean, Spurs and Man United in the bottom half. That is awful. Crystal Palace 16th. Leicester just above the relegation zone. In the relegation zone is Wolves, Ipswich and Southampton. Southampton, wow. They have a lot of work to do under Julik. 8 points away from safety already. Not looking good for them. Should we have a look at the player stats as well? Here. So Mohamed Salah is the top goal scorer and top assister. 15 goals and 11 assists already this season is absolutely mad. I mean, if a player had that by the end of the season, that would be a really, really good season, like a fantastic season. So to have that before Christmas is mad. Erling Haaland is second, 13. Cole Palmer third, 11. Isak with 10 goals now. Bukayo Saka has 10 assists as well. Most passes, Van Dijk, clean sheets. Jordan Pickford has now gone top with 7. Most goals, Spurs. Can I get like more in-depth ones? No. Wait, player stats. There we go. Player stats. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Can I? Okay, yeah. Alright, yeah. These are pretty useless. Oh well. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. Consider subscribing. I'll see you in another video.